y'all. I'm going to be showing you different things you can do with the Nail Design Studio if you are using Procreate. So they're designed to work together. If you typically use Procreate to draw on nails, or you are looking for templates, or you kind of want a hybrid situation where you can upload your images here and then continue to design them in Procreate, that's basically what I'm going to be going over. So if you are looking at this video, you've probably already played around with this and you know the basics on how to get everything set up. So we're gonna go ahead and try a duck set. So I want to do a portrait maybe on the middle fingers of each hand. So we'll do a full set view. We'll add a portrait to each of these middle fingers, and then we're gonna leave some of these blank. So we'll work around it, but we're gonna make it happen. So we have to decide what portrait we're gonna do, or let's just do a character. So I'm gonna try Lucky Charms since St. Patrick's Day is coming up. So I'm gonna go to Google and I'm gonna search Lucky Charms. Okay, and we're gonna go images and just find an image that's kind of like what we want. I like him, but that looks like a blurry image, so we're just gonna keep searching for a good image. Maybe we should say Lucky Charms guy or something like that. I don't really want a picture of the cereal box, you know? Okay, so we have him, we have him. This looks really good. This also looks good with him coming from the side. You could choose kind of whatever. You could do a full body situation. I think I'm gonna go with this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy well, I'm gonna save the image. I don't usually name them, so I'm just gonna save it. Download 27 is what it is. Back over here, and we're gonna upload that to the middle finger. Maybe I'll do two different ones. I'll go back and download another one for the other middle finger. So here he is. We're gonna zoom out a little bit and kind of rotate him some. I kind of want to get his hat. Now, if I do a different, like if I do square, it looks a little better to me. Maybe we'll go with square. Okay, so there he is. He's on there, and then we're gonna get a different image for the other middle finger. Let's go with this one. So let's just save it, and we'll go with that. Now you can, of course, just keep this as is and print it out as a decal, or you can just use it as a reference for when you are designing your own set. I'm gonna do like a full face on here, because why not? I'm gonna move them down a little bit though. Okay, so we have those. Now we're gonna go ahead and download as a Procreate layered file. So I'm gonna say nail design Lucky Procreate. All right, cool. And we're gonna download. We're gonna share it to the iPad. Okay, so we are in our iPad and we are gonna open up that file that I just airdropped to myself from Procreate. So I'm gonna go to Procreate, I'm gonna go to the little wrench, and I'm gonna click insert a file or tap insert a file. Now it is in my downloads, but it is still zipped up. So what I'm gonna need to do is go to my files and unzip it. So I'm gonna click on it. Now that it's unzipped, I should be able to do it in Procreate. Let's see. It's unzipped and now it's open and we see everything. We're just gonna start to pick whatever we want to pick. You can pick one nail at a time. You can pick all of the nails. They are layered files though. Now you can also download your image from Nail Design Studio as just a regular color image with a transparent background. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to airdrop that as well. Cool. So there's our Lucky Charms file. I'm going to undo this. Add the photo we just downloaded, and it's going to give us all of our 10 nails. Okay, so now we're in here, and again, I showed this on live, but I'm going to do it again here. So you're going to want to create layers for different things so you can separate them out. Now, again, you could obviously insert a file and just insert the middle finger as a layer by itself and hide the other layers. There's just different ways you can work with if you want to move this around. Just click the little arrow and you can make it smaller. You can move it around, you can draw on it. If for whatever reason you wanted the background to be a different color, you can do a clipping mask. Now that's a whole different video for another day, but these are the things that you can do right in Procreate with any file that you've added in Nail Design Studio. Now, most people are probably thinking like, well, what is the difference? What's the point of having two separate apps, or why can't you just do it all in Procreate? Now, technically you can do it all in Procreate, and I'm about to show you what the difference is in my opinion. I'm going to airdrop our original Lucky Charm photo, and then I'm going to show you what I used to do and why it's kind of, to me, not as effective as using these apps together. They're going to work together. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to hide this other layer, and I'm going to add a blank nail template. So let's insert let's insert a file, and we're going to just pick one of these blank square nails. Okay. So we've imported that. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then now I want to add my Lucky Charms guy. So I'm adding him, right? So in the past, this is how it would look. You put him in here, you manipulate him, you play around with him, you turn him this way, you turn him that way, whatever you're going to do. You get him on the nail, and then you have to do things like trace around him, his own layer, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to go ahead and give him his own layer. Insert the photo, add that. Okay, make him bigger and so he can fit. And essentially what I would have to do before is, first of all, I'm going to have to erase whatever is on the outside so you can just see the nail itself. Let me make the eraser a little bit bigger. I have to erase this part. And I'd have to get it precisely so I don't like erase too much. And same thing over here. And see, I already erased too much. So then I'd probably be coloring that in. If I don't like the placement, I have to maybe redo it again. If it goes outside of here, I have to erase, or I have to trace around it. So if you trace around certain things, you can remove it and erase it. But again, it's a lot messier and it's not as fast as having your image already in there from Nail Design Studio. And then if you decide, hey, I've got my images here, I want to add some stuff, I want to draw things, you can go ahead and do that. So let's just say we want to have like a nudish pink base. Okay, so let's just say we want to do the nude pink base so we can make a French. You can make a really deep French like that where it starts really low. You can make a French that goes up a little bit higher, and you can kind of move your pencil around to adjust it. Now, this is not going to be a full Procreate class. This is literally just for the purposes of this video. You can also do that as well. You can drag and color each nail how you want to. So then this is actually easier if you want to make your base nude for several of these, and then you can go back in and draw your French tips if you want. Ooh. These are bound boxes and they're separate layers, technically speaking, separate frames. You can literally drag your colors right into there. So we can do that. And if you don't want them all to be filled in, you can just undo that and leave some of them filled in. Let's just say we want to have our Lucky Charms French tip the same color as part of his hat. If you hold your finger down and move it around, it will give you the different colors. So you can hold it down and then decide, okay, I want to make this nail a French tip or something like that. You can color that in. If you do it right, you'll be able to drag the color into it. Sometimes the box isn't closed all the way, so we're going to see if it's closed all the way. It's not. So it's just sometimes easier to just kind of fill it in, color it in, just so you can get your concept together about how you want things to look. Oh, and we're going to make our eraser a little bit smaller. And I'm just now thinking, as I'm doing this, I think I want to add a color picker. So if you want to fill your nail with color, you should be able to. If you just want like some of the nails to be kind of plain or just a French tip. Now, this is a very crude French tip because I'm just showing you guys what's possible and how you can work with these together. But the more I do this, the more ideas I'm getting. So essentially, you can do whatever you need to do in Nail Design Studio and then continue your designing in Procreate if that's what you choose to use. You can also just make life a lot easier for yourself if you are in Procreate and you just want to keep continuing to design without having to do all of that tracing and all of that erasing that you would typically have to do, or learning how to do a clipping mask, which is sometimes pretty temperamental, honestly, just being real. But that's pretty much it. That's how you would use this in Procreate. And then if you wanted to download this so you can use these as decals, you can do that and go up to the wrench and say share. And you can download in all of these different files. You can also download the layers separately. Up to you how you want to do that. And then once you download them, you can use them however you see fit. You can even have it download as a PDF. So there is a way, if you want, you can slide and duplicate a layer, and then you can put several layers on one page. So let me show you how to do that before we get out of here. So I'm going to get rid of these two layers because now I'm just showing you how you can stack them together. I'm going to select this and I'm going to move it up. And as you can see, now it reveals that other layer. The blue layer is the highlighted layer. This is the layer below it. And you can see how when I move this one up, it revealed these. So I'm also going to need to go to this one and arrow, and then I'm going to move it down. So now you have them all on one page. So in theory, if you wanted to do decals, you could line them up this way. You could do a portrait orientation on your iPad. Is that a piece of hair? Line them up that way. And then you can download this as a PDF and then pop it into your printer and call it a day. Not pop it into your printer, but essentially send the image to your printer and print out your decals like that. I'm going to go ahead and download as a PDF, and it's going to ask you to choose the quality. We want the best quality, obviously. Why would we want anything less? And then you can airdrop it wherever if you use Apple devices, or you could save it to files, however you want to do it. So just going to go ahead and click save, and that's it. And then you have your PDF.